How's it going, everyone? So after looking at the wide receiver position, the Packers ended up also signing technically 2 tight ends as undrafted free agents. So the first one we have is Cameron McDonald, 6'4", 237 pounds, ran a 4.99 40-yard dash and a 1.74 10-yard split, so nothing amazing in that aspect. Pretty average scores, and had a 2.52 RAS score, which was pretty bad. So for his collegiate career, he played 4 years at Florida State with the Seminoles. And for his receiving stats in 2019, he had an offensive rating of 55, had 6 receptions, 43 yards, and no touchdowns. In 2020, 58.1 offensive rating, had 23 receptions, 263 yards, 2 touchdowns. 2021, a 56.9 offensive rating for 24 receptions, 243 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Then in his final year, had a 64.7 offensive rating, 21 receptions, 315 yards, and 1 touchdown, and ended up his receiving career as a tight end with 74 receptions, 864 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So nothing eye-popping on the stat list in the receiving department. And then as a blocker for his 4 years, as you can see, his run blocking from 2019 to 2022, he had 59, 47.8, 40.9, and a 62 run blocking. And then in the pass, it was a little bit better. 81.9 starting in 2019, then moving up to 55.9, 77.8, and 67.7 in his final year. So nothing really good on the run blocking side, but seemed to be a decent pass blocking tight end, at least for most of his years, outside of 2020, which was his first year as a starter. So when looking up some stuff about McDonald, some of the scouts say he's pretty much a hard-working tight end. He has an average size and average speed, average testing numbers. He's not a natural pass catcher, but he is a reliable pass catcher, so he gets the job done. So I'm pretty sure that's what matters at the end of the day. He doesn't finish off blocks, especially when he's going up against linebackers and defensive linemen, so this is probably why his run blocking is a bit down. And he doesn't wow you in any aspect. He's just a really hard-working tight end. So sometimes those hard-working players can make up for the lack of talent. He's got a long road ahead of him. We'll see how he does on this offseason. Next up, the second technical tight end that the Packers sign is Henry Pearson. The reason why I say technical tight end is because the Packers have him listed as fullback, but during his collegiate career, he did play 5 years at Appalachian State as a tight end. So he is 6'2", 249 pounds. He ran a 4.8 40-yard dash and a 1.76 10-yard split, and had a 4.1 RAS score. So nothing really phenomenal on paper, except for the fact he did bench press 225 pounds 30 times, which led the entire tight end group that did this drill, with the second leading person being 23 reps. So it's definitely a very strong dude. So for a look at his passing stats at the 5 years he played at Appalachian State, none of these stats really wow you. The most he had was in his 2022 season at 25 receptions, 329 yards, and 5 touchdowns, and had his biggest offensive rating at 71.7. He typically averaged around that 65-ish, I'd say 65 offensive rating, so nothing too crazy. And for his entire career, he only had 74 receptions, 897 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So he doesn't wow you in the passing or the receiving department. And then as a blocker for his 5 years, for the run blocking from 2018, 60.8, 80.3, 70.9, 58.7, and 65.1. And as a pass blocker, even worse, from 2018 at 65.8, 70.6, 45.2, 58.8, and a 49.7. So he's okay, it looks like, in a PFF grade for run blocking, except for that 2021 season, which was abysmal. And as a pass blocker, he kind of got worse as the years progressed. And that's all that we really have on Henry Pearson. Try to look from some scouting reports on him, something. And as of right now, there's nothing. So right now, the Packers have technically signed 1 tight end free agent, undrafted free agent, and Henry Pearson will be listed as fullback. But both of these players still have a very long shot of making the Packers roster, especially their 53-man roster. The practice squad's kind of a whole different story. But I believe this is more of just adding some bodies for the offseason training camp, trying to fill out the roster a little bit and add some competition. Because for the most part, we already know our top 2 draft picks are going at tight end are going to start. And then you have Josiah DeGuara, which will probably fill out the H-back role. And then Tyler Davis is probably a fringe starter, in my opinion. He kind of wowed us last year in training camp. They kept raving about him. Then during the regular season, he did nothing, and he showed up terribly. So I don't even think he might even make this roster. Like, he has a very long shot. If he does, it's because of special teams, and Rich Bisaccia wants to keep him. But otherwise, it looks like Luke Musgrave, Tucker Kraft, and probably Josiah DeGuara are going to be the top 3. The rest are just there to compete, add some competition, and have more people at those positions during the offseason training camps. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, go Pack Go.